welcome to the show. I'm interviewing Arquila Todd, who wrote the book Dating Smart or Date Smart, Practical Biblical Dating Lessons for All the Single Ladies. Arquila, is it Arquila?
Arquila.
Arquila.
Arquila. Yes, thank you.
Arquila is an author. She's a woman of God, and she wrote this book about how to date smart with practical biblical studies. Tell me about this book and how it all came about.
How the book came about simply is making bad mistakes myself. And I think I made every dating relationship error there is to make. But I had the foundation in life, my Christian foundation, to ask God how to make this work because I knew He had a better plan for us relating to each other. And we call it dating, and old times they call it courting, but it's the same thing. It's in relationship. How do we relate to one another where it's healthy and wholesome and respectable, loving, kind? So God gave me so many answers. Who knew there were relationship strategies in the Bible?
Tell me where they're found.
Well, you can go to Boaz and his treatment of Ruth, Jacob and his treatment of Rachel, Jesus and his treatment of the church.
Okay.
And it teaches us how to love one another, respect one another, honor one another, be right people ourselves with integrity and mutual care and concern. And so God gave me so many lessons that, yes, that is my third book.
Your third book.
Yes.
Okay, in today's time, people are not aware on how to date. It doesn't matter the age. You think the age, because dating when you're a teenager compared to dating when you're in your 20s compared to dating when you're probably over 50 is totally different.
Yes.
And most girls that are teenagers, would you say, they were never taught to date?
I would definitely agree with that. And that's why I wrote the book. God said, be a solution to the problem you see. And with that, disposable relationships are running rampant. Young girls haven't been taught really how to respect themselves. So how can they respect someone else? And how can they ask for respect when they haven't been taught your value and your worth? And to have confidence and sound judgment and to be discerning even.
Now, you mentioned disposable relationships. You have to tell us, what does that mean?
Today, in today's society, in 2015, we can meet someone not like the way they eat their asparagus and we're through with them. And especially ladies my age, we've often been married or not been married and just are tired of relationship very quickly. We can become frustrated with a person. And I'm talking about Christian women. I'm a Christian woman. Well, long suffering is a biblical principle. So how are we long suffering with someone? How are we so kind as to share God's goodness with them? And even being a person's relationship where God is glorified. That should be our purpose more so than, oh, he makes me mad. He didn't call me yesterday, so I'm breaking up with him.
It's like throwing in your trump card. You just, once someone makes you mad, you just want to throw them away. You're done with them. There's no building. There's no long suffering. There's no request for forgiveness or discussions about forgiveness.
No reasoning together. None of those Christian principles, which we need to get back to have a solid foundation for our relationships that makes them healthy, happy, and peaceful.
It is interesting that you mentioned that because even if you're dating in the church, and let's say both of you go to the same church, and you get mad, like you said, for eating the wrong asparagus or something like eating the last piece of cake, and how do you just go about just totally writing a person off like they're invisible, like they don't exist?
Honestly, I think we don't know how to problem solve. I think you mentioned young girls and how they're not being taught to date. I think that runs the gamut with Christian women in general and men. How do we problem solve? The first chapter of Date Smart is called Drama Free, and there are 7 ways to problem solve based on Revelations chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. I realize that problem solving is an issue. Reasoning together, listening, consider what you're saying, putting myself in your shoes as my mate to get an understanding and clarity. All of those things need to be taught to make our relationships better.
Now, would you say And what I see, just talking to young girls and even women that are my age, we jump into the word relationships. A lot of times we're meeting, we're getting to know one another, but we have already categorized it as being in a relationship when the audible words were never said.
That is so true. You are so on point with what is going on today. And because of that, we're on two different pages. We haven't set the standards, we haven't said where we are, we haven't heard from his heart on where he is with us. So until we get an understanding of where we are, um, and even the Bible says to consider him as your brother in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm your sister in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
He's my brother in Christ. And that way we're not jumping too far ahead of where he is. I interviewed a young man. He said she went from 0 to 100. I met her. 2 weeks later, she wanted to get married. That is so not where he was.
And you know what? Especially in older women, it seems like, and I'll just say older women and men. It just seems like once we've reached this certain age or this certain plateau in life, we are like 0 to 100, ready to get married right away. We don't want to get to know each other. We don't want to ask questions. We don't want to ask them anything about their past or past relationships or family or their even where they were born. All of those things make up who the person is. And so we just jump right into, hi, my name is Cassandra, and I'm ready to get married.
And it's okay to want to get married, but it's another thing to, like you say, get to know the person, have the conversation, spend the time with them so that you're marrying someone who is healthy for you, who, in the long run, because we can all get married. I've been asked, would I marry a certain person, but he was not the man for me. So I said it is better to be by myself until the right person comes along. And that's with anybody. You can get married, but is that the solution? Or do you want to be happily married?
There is a difference. Now you said it. Because a lot of us, we jump into relationships. We jump into marriage. We're doing a whole bunch of jumping these days without even thinking. And I think a lot of us are intelligent enough to see signs, even bad behaviors. What's out there? What do you see about that person that's not what you want or what you expect in a person? But then again, we just cover it up and jump into marriage, assuming that those traits are going to change because we're always busy trying to change somebody.
Well, I'll say this. In the Bible, we know a Christian virtue is edification. Matthew chapter 28, quote all the time, go ye therefore and teach. So are we going to be ministers of God in our relationship, or we're going to relegate him for Sunday morning, Wednesday Bible study, or are we going to really share God so that not I change you, but the word of God changes you? That's often what's missing is a spiritual growth between the two people so that the relationship grows and gets better.
That's another word for longevity, especially in marriages, which we're not seeing anymore today. From what I'm understanding, there's a 50% divorce rate. But you can't have that divorce rate if you never get married. A lot of people are shacking up, living together, so they won't be included in this divorce rate. But what does God say about it? We want to make sure that God is glorified, that we're walking and living in His perfect will. His perfect will. And most of us, what we do is we put God aside and we try and use our own mind, our own intellect. Because I think it gets us into a lot of trouble.
That's why I wrote my book. That's why I wrote it, so that people can easily, couples, communicate about control issues, selfishness issues, past hurts. A lot of ladies have baggage. There's a chapter there that deals with Jonah and how Jonah was given a new set of standards in that God gave him relief. Now, Jonah didn't tend to it, so his relief left. Just like a woman, God can bless her with relief from her pain, her hurt. Are you going to neglect that relief, or are you going to see it for what it is and move out of being a victim to living victoriously?
Well, I'm thinking it's not just women because men also carry baggage. Especially if they've had a horrible divorce. Maybe their children are not speaking to them. They carry so many hurts. Maybe they saw their parent, his parents get divorced, and so he automatically assumes, that's the end result for him, maybe his new bride. And so I don't believe that it's just women. But I think you make a good point because we all carry baggage. And I think that God needs to completely heal us before we jump into anything, whether it's dating, marriage, or even sometimes girlfriend relationships, because sometimes we carry hurts from our girlfriends into relationships.
Yes, you are so correct with that. And but God has a standard. He has healing power. He has resurrection power. We as Christian ladies, especially, and men, you're right, with baggage, have to tap into that to become new creatures. Even say, for instance, we were talking about not being ready for a relationship for longevity. Well, in God's examples with his standards, his precepts, we've got to get back to that so that when we get into a relationship, we're ready mentally, physically, financially, stable individuals to connect with someone else. Because a lot of times we aren't. The teaching has not been there. That's why he says, go ye therefore and teach. Teach godly ways, godly precepts, so that you are then can make sound judgment in your relationship one to another.
I'm telling you now, you mentioned something earlier about Boaz. Okay? And a lot of us are always saying we're looking for our Boaz. I want my Boaz. I'm believing God for my Boaz. But then they don't read what happened right before she met Boaz. Then she learned to serve at his feet first.
She was working in his fields. Yes, she was. So she was a worker. And then she responded to his advancement, which a lot of ladies, we want to advance toward the man first. Boaz approached her, and that's biblical.
Right.
And it's throughout the Bible. And then she knew when to leave his presence. She didn't hog his time. And we can do that
And
too.
especially when he's watching football or something, we're right there want to ask him questions about what are you thinking?
Yes. And not know when to get up and leave. So after she had a conversation with him, they ate together, she got up. She had purpose. And a lot of ladies, sometimes we forget our purpose. We forget our friends. We forget our identity. We make that man our idol. Ruth. So if you want your Boaz, it's good to have Ruth characteristics about yourself as well.
Oh my God, we have to talk more about this. Day Smart, practical biblical dating lessons for all the single ladies. I'm telling you, I'm having a good time. We're talking about Boaz. We're talking about a lot of things here. I'm telling you, if you don't run up now, this book is found on
Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. You can look at my website. Search for me, Outskirts Press, /Date Smart. You can get the book many avenues.
Now, she has some pretty great titles in here, and she got something in here called the Spider-Man Syndrome. You have got to tell us, what does this mean?
Well, that is a very provocative chapter of the book, and it's just to the point. Spider-Man, in the Spider-Man 2 movie, I do believe, the young Peter Parker came into a dinner establishment where his ex-girlfriend worked with a new girl. Yes, and they danced in front of his ex, and as he dipped the new lady, she said, you did this for her. And the ex-girlfriend knew, oh, he was trying to make me jealous. So as women and daughters of God, a man may do certain things, but our life is dependent on how we respond to what he does. Are we going to react, beat her up, hurt his car, throw a fit, act ungodly, or are we going to walk in faith regardless of what he is doing to show, you said it, God be glorified, that composure is a choice. To be poised is a choice. Even at those difficult times that a person may or may not intend to make you jealous by flaunting another lady in your face, your reaction is what's important.
Right. I heard a doctor once say, a quiet woman is very dangerous. And he also asked a question to me, and he says, why is it that a woman gives a response when a question is never asked? And I thought that was so profound. A lot of times, in what you were saying, is that we react, and we're so reactive instead of being proactive. You know, I think that if we see our ex out with another woman, I think that what we need to do is start focusing on the deliverance that he gave us from him, right? Or through him, right? Because sometimes, even though that person did end up being your mate, there was a deliverance. And maybe it wasn't for you. And a lot of us say, well, what's for me? What God has for me is for me. But then we forget when these situations occur because we want to act out and lash out, which I don't believe is what God told us to do.
Exactly. So to have that spiritual maturity, to have that working in you, regardless of the circumstance, because like you say, there is a saying that goes, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond to it.
Okay.
How are you going to respond as a daughter of God? Even in the most trying of times, even in the, are you going to be tossed and driven and act manic and frustrated and just out of character? Or are you going to remain poised and dignified and honorable and virtuous? Those are godly characters that we've got to get back to. We must.
We must get back to. I mean, so many of us, and even I see older women slashing tires, calling, hanging up, texting, just saying all kind of things on social media, putting their own, and they don't understand they're putting their own personal business out there on social media. You know, if you're breaking up with someone, look at it as a blessing from God sometimes. But sometimes you're being delivered, shifted, moved, scurried away for a reason. Listen, we'll be right back. We're going to talk more about dates. smart, practical biblical dating lessons for all the single ladies. I'm telling you, you need to get this book. There's some really good, interesting chapters in here, but we're going to dive straight into teach him how to treat you.
Yes, Dr. Pepper Wilson. To teach him how to treat you. And that first begins with a lady's self-assurance. She must know she needs respect and honor, first of all. She must know her value and her wealth, her worth. And starting with that, she can then direct a man to treat her honorably with respect. So often, ladies take abuse and it leads to abuse when he treats you in a dishonorable way. We don't say no to that. We accept it because out of desperation, I want a man and I want any kind of man.
Right.
And if that's what it takes, I will settle for that. We've got to understand that it's okay to be by ourselves and sometimes even better. You mentioned God cutting off a relationship. I had a situation in this book with my ex Charles, and God reminded me, yes, you cried one night, but I saved you on many nights of many tears by closing that door. But to teach him how to treat you is, I have a story in there, if I can share.
Sure.
The story was I went over a friend's house, and we've changed all names. Yes. So, and we had watched a movie and had dinner. Well, I had went to his home where he had cooked, we ate, and then he walked me to the door at 9 o'clock at night, which was nighttime, and it was dark outside, and said good night. I said, I don't know what you're used to, as kind as I could, but my car is outside. Would you be so kind as to walk me to my car that is outside in the dark in your driveway?
Right.
And he's like, yes, I dropped the ball on that. My bad.
Uh-huh.
But ladies, if you don't ask for that kind of treatment that respects you, you may not get it. More than likely, you won't. So that, and oftentimes I say, teach him how to treat you. Men, you mentioned, may have grown up in situations where they hadn't valued a woman. Maybe his dad, they didn't have the best examples.
Right. Okay.
The examples weren't there, but that's why I love God's goodness, his grace and mercy towards us. He puts those examples to give us new relationships that can also teach him as well as me how to treat each other. I may not have had the best examples, and I did. My father was verbally abusive. But when I read how Boaz talked to Ruth, my daughter, get you something to eat, give you something to drink, I was like, okay, that's how I should be treated. Now I expect that. Now I ask for that kind of righteous treatment.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. My dad took me out on dates, and he taught me that if a man doesn't come to the door and ask for your property, you don't go. I'm not a toot-toot girl. So if he was, stand in the driveway and honk his horn, I couldn't go. Or if a man didn't open my door or pull a chair out for me, I didn't sit. My dad told me that if he didn't do it, wait for Jesus to come. And if Jesus didn't come, leave. Call a cab. Leave. Get out of there. And I'll tell you, a lot of us, we don't command. I didn't say demand, but I don't think we command a man to properly treat us. But then again, we have to know how to treat him as well. And I think it starts with sometimes even the first thing he sees is our appearance. Are we showing too much of the goodies? Give him nothing to wonder about? Are we doing too much up front?
All of those are very vital issues that we face today, not knowing what you said, it not knowing how to conduct ourselves in relationships. What standards are out there to say what is right and how I should be treated, how I should treat others? God's standard. And it's for our good. His way, his decrees, and even for protection. They even protect the man and the woman. That's why I am such a proponent of God and Jesus Christ and those examples, because you're talking about stable and healthy, growing, loving relationships.
I had, this was years ago, I had a guy call me, and I don't believe he meant any disrespect or disregard. However, I had to keep my standards where they needed to be. And he called me just to ask me a question. But I looked at my clock, it was 11 o'clock. And I said, why would you call me at such a late hour? And he said, oh, my sister, in Christ, I only called to ask you a question. I said, you did not. Because when I answered the phone, he said, hey, my sexy single sister. So why does sexy need to be in this conversation? You had other thoughts. So I had to say, listen, I don't I don't like phone calls after 9 o'clock. I think they're disrespectful. Because to me, I'm not sure what you're calling me for. You asked the question, but you put that word sexy in there, so it threw me. So out of respect for me, you can't call me after 9 o'clock. Now, maybe his intentions were totally pure. I don't really care. But I set that standard. My phone should not ring from you after 9 o'clock.
And I love that. You had a conversation on what would value you.
Mm-hmm.
You had a conversation on what would protect your sleep. You had that conversation to ask to respect me. Would you not call me after 9 at a decent time? And a man can respect a lady much more with standards than someone who lets him do any and everything.
I agree.
And there are no boundaries. She has no boundaries, no cutoff. That's why Proverbs 31 is in the Bible. That's why Ruth is in the Bible, to give us courage to say, don't call me after 9. Show me some respect if you would, to address disrespectful behavior. And as ladies, have the courage to do that. You may think he's going to leave, but if it's someone who's not going to respect you, let him go. But if it's a person of God, he will say, she's right. I was wrong with that.
Right.
Let me do better.
Right. And a lot of times, I said this earlier, sometimes it's how we dress. Because I see a lot of ladies out there exposing too much up top, exposing too much at the bottom, but then they don't want the man to treat them as a piece of meat. And so when he says slanderous things or male chauvinistic things, now you want to be offended, right? And so, but to me, I was taught that I don't need to show you all my goodies on the first date. A lot of times we're trying to do too much too fast, so we're going to show him all of our chest or all of our bottom parts. Sometimes we put our own self in situations that we don't need to be in.
Well, I definitely think that as ladies and being wanting to be respected, there's a way that we can dress that will garner respect, and a way that we can dress that will garner a different appeal from a man. So, as a older lady myself, I would suggest that we teach younger ladies especially, because their role models are the television and what people wear and their friends, but what are we doing to make a difference in the way they think about themselves? So that's why I love to teach. I love to go to conferences. I love to impart in them proper wear, something that won't be maybe more indecent, and like you say, showing too much, that garners a sexual response immediately.
There is
instead of honorable response.
right, and I don't think the word God doesn't mean older women because you're not old, but that word is wisdom, women of wisdom, or to teach the younger women. Because a lot of them, like you said, they see the supermodels on TV and they dress the way they dress. I mean, my husband and I went to the movies last night, and there was this beautiful young girl. I believe she may have been 15, 16 years old, and she was on a date. You can tell, but instead of her having on leggings, she had on see-through tights. And so I looked at her. I'm thinking she's practically naked, right? Because I can see right through them. She did not have on a long top to cover. So basically, the problem that I'm seeing is that there's no one who saw her before she left out of the house.
And as a big sister, with big sisters, I see them, and even just living life. So where are the mentors? Where are the conferences to help our young girls? Where are the loving stages where they can be taught etiquette? I I love the fraternity, sororities for what they do, and we just need more work in that department to give our young girls self-worth and self-esteem, in spite of what their friends are doing, to be individuals, to teach them individuality. I don't have to follow what everyone else is doing.
All in the crowd.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, what we're seeing now, I mean, even our conversation, sometimes what we say, even as Christian women, we start talking about things that put us in situations. Sometimes we're speaking provocatively in a conversation with someone that could, lead to, getting all hot under the collar. And sometimes we initiate that.
We do. So where, and I have to go back to being taught better. And also after even being taught better, when you have a testimony of doing it the right way, because so often your example isn't, if you follow other church young ladies, they may be doing the same thing. I have to be honest with you. In my first book, my testimony, how God used the pain of my dating relationship to get my attention and have me return to Him, I admitted in there, growing up in the church, I had sex. And I was not married. I did every mistake there was to do. So God had to teach me His way first. And then I had to believe it. So now that I have that testimony of doing it His way, I'll never forget driving down I-20. He said, the peace I give you will be better than any peace you've ever had after being abstinent for a year. He was telling the truth. I was no longer frustrated and mad. Women who are doing it right in God have got to be more vocal. As vocal as women who are on the Atlanta Housewives, not to put them down and say they're Christ-like, but not turning over chairs and fussing about things and pulling out people's hair and that kind of thing. We got to be more. I love that you're doing this show. This is such a tool and resource. God bless you for that. To talk about doing it the right way. We need more of these shows. We need more movies and television shows that show us doing it the right way and getting a good result.
Right.
Showing God's goodness as a result of doing it His way.
Because the world says you should live together first. Try it out, see if it works. And God says no. Basically, we have to be in His perfect will in order for it to be blessed in the first place. We can't, the Bible said we can't serve two masters. So we're not going to serve a God who says, I said, no, I command you not. But then we're going to serve this world that says, try it out. That's the devil. And we know this. And then we say we're Christians. I met a lady recently, go to a local church, and her and her boyfriend have been living together for 15 years. But she tells everyone at the church that they're married. And so then she says that her heart's desire is to be his wife, but he won't ask her to marry him. And so the question, there were a bunch of women that says, have you commanded him to marry you? She's, I've done everything. And he won't marry her. And he was sitting right there during the conversation. He said, I don't want to marry her unless it's done right. I'm like, after 15 years, you don't know if it's right. So what we do is we put ourselves in these situations. We shack up, we move in, we do all kind of tricks to get them. And then when we think we got them, we really don't have them.
That is so our example, though, honestly. And until we learn a better way and then trust in that better way, and the person who's done it the better way share the goodness of doing it that way, what we see is that example being real. It was real in my life. For 2 years, I dated Charles, and we lived together. And until God became real in my life, a personal relationship with Him. The difference in doing it the simple way, the frustration, the hurt, the crying nights. Oh my gosh, I gained weight. I lost hair, just stress. Going to get a massage like just knotted up behind that relationship. But doing it God's way is nothing like the peace. With or without a man. And that's why I want God's daughters to be His sons too. But my ministry is definitely for the ladies, God's daughters. To get them back to peace. Regardless if you're with a man or not, you have God. And how can Christian ladies, we be so at this ease? so tossed and driven. We are God's daughters, and we must look different. We must act differently. We must act like we are His daughters.
We must act like the princess that we really are. You know, I love that when you said it because I am a daddy's girl. My earthly father and my heavenly father, I am spoiled. And so I always, things that I do, and even in my book, I always talk about how I want to please my father. But now, once I accepted Christ as my Savior, He's my daddy God, right? He's my other father. So my objective is to please Him. And once you learn how to please Him and serve Him, there's no way you'll know how to please and serve the Boaz that God has given you as your king. So if God gives you a man after His own heart that is seeking Him daily, right? How would you fall in love with serving Him as your king? And we miss that because we go, well, I just want to date, I want to get married, I want the house, I want the car, I want the dog, I want the picket fence, I want the children. But we forget about serving.
Yes, that is such an excellent point. And you mentioned Ruth earlier and her stance towards Boaz. I was reading in the Bible and it tells us, God says, to be right and just. Those were the two words it says, to be right and just. And that meant toward one another and as we live this life. You mentioned yourself having a relationship with God, communing with Him on a day by day, second by second basis. He helps us be right and just. Even talking as I was driving here and we had time a little mixed up, it could have been easy to handle it a different way. But as I listened to God to say, just look for the email, just to confirm misunderstandings happen, I was able to handle it in a right and just way. Listening to God allows us to, second by second, moment by moment, serve, be Christ-like in what we do and how we behave. That, and I'm going to say this about relationship, I don't know how much time we have left. Once you've done it the wrong way and you've been with a man for 15 years and he won't marry you, once you've been hurt and you're crying, try God. What do you have to lose? That's where I was. I was suicidal in my first book. I talk about it. Yes, I was. I was in a fetal position crying out to God. And I said, Lord, help me. That was the turning point to my life. Now, I had tried it my way, my friend's way, examples that I'd seen. But it wasn't until I tried God's way that I was like, oh, this works. And I tried something else. I'm like, oh my God, this works. Oh my, the strength, the confidence, the self-assuredness, the God in me just made all the difference for myself and my relationships and how I handle life. So if I don't say anything to you today, is try God. It can be bad for you, but what do you have to lose?
That's right. We're talking about date smart, practical biblical dating lessons for all the single ladies. We'll be right back after this. Arquila Todd, date smart, practical biblical dating lessons for all the single ladies. Tell us, where can we get this book?
The book can be found and purchased Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, or you can get in touch with me, Golden5002 at AOL.com. And the purchase price is $15. I will personally pay for the shipping. If you do not live in the DFW Metroplex, I'm available for conferences, symposiums. I have a monthly Redeeming Our Daughters meet up at my home because I am serious about turning this thing around where relationships are concerned and growing individuals spiritually mature. That's often what's missing. So
I tell you, churches, you need to get in touch with this lady. She needs to teach your girls, the youngsters in your church, on how to date smart, how to present themselves. You said sororities, nonprofit organizations for girls, teens. Please get this book, Date Smart, Practical Biblical Dating Lessons for all the single ladies. Thank you so much.